Looking further into risk assessment, which is just analyzing the probability and magnitude of a harm, the risk-benefit analysis ratio of expected benefit to risk is used by organizations like the FDA to help regulate new drugs and technology through clinical trials to prevent people from being harmed by potentially unsafe or ineffective treatment. Furthermore, RBAs can be used to expand access to experimental treatments to those who have life-threatening conditions and no viable medical alternative. RBAs carry what is considered an acceptable risk level, known as the de minimis risk, and this is considered acceptable because it's either low probability or low magnitude of harm, or potentially both. De minimis risks, however, do have limitations in that it's a ratio, so if it's applied to different sample sizes, the results may not be considered acceptable if the sample size gets larger or smaller. Furthermore, the impact of repeated exposure to risk and potentially a negative cumulative effect is not a factor here, and inherent biases can be found in the way the RBA is applied. For example, only considering the medical benefits versus the psychosocial benefits of a procedure like breast augmentation, that would alter the benefit to risk analysis or ratio. When considering risk, the perception is also important of the public. People have different understandings of harm and an acceptable level of risk. However, it is part of our job as healthcare providers to correct mistaken public views through public policy. For example, misinformation surrounding vaccine safety, that's something we've spoken about in our class. The last part of risk assessment would be what to do in the case of an unknown risk or uncertain risk. Precautionary measures are just actions that are taken to address that, such as transparency, consulting experts, involving the public to formulate possible responses to threats. However, this process should only be used when there is not enough evidence to carry out a formal risk analysis. And precautionary measures should be guided, of course, by beneficence and non-maleficence.